Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to talk about a small bit of drama that has erupted mainly on the Korean Netmarble boards that hasn't really been covered in English aside from Reddit. So I want to start off by saying that while this has already happened and it's already been detailed in a text post on Reddit, and if you want to go and read that instead of watching my video, you can absolutely go and do that. It's in the description. I will be recounting the events because part of what I've said in previous videos relates to this, so I feel like it's worthwhile news to cover because it's technically an update to things that I had foreshadowed. It's also important because it does affect some members of the community, and it's interesting to note for all members of the community, despite the fact that you might think this is a top 1% first world problems issue. It's important for all of us to watch and see how Netmarble responds to this, and also for those non-Korean speakers, you can actually know what the hell is going on. So what actually happened? Well, at the end of Alliance Battle Extreme last week, because the reset happened, but at the end of the last round, we had a bunch of players, and you can check by your rank, with a max score, and it was the max score of like, I don't know, 15 or 16 million and change, whatever. But they literally had identical scores, and you can see the same thing happening right now. We've got this guy, this other guy. They all have 6,587,750 points. And this is like 50 or 60 players who have the exact same score. And this is due, well, not that many actually this time. We got a little bit less here. We've got, 50 players. And that is due largely, if not entirely in part, to the CTP of Rage and the fact that it has allowed the final few uncapped days of Extreme Alliance Battle to be capped at 2 million. And if you do all of your ABs, your Alliance Battles for the week, and you obviously get a perfect score on those, whether it's 166,000 or it's 210,000, and then you get 2 million on every single Extreme Alliance Battle day, well, you're going to have an identical score to anyone else who has the same characters and does the same things and has the same builds and has the same CTPs of Rage. Now, for newer players, that might seem impossible, but for quite a while now, we've maxed out multiple days. And if we go back to the original round, this round was always quite difficult to cap on. It was almost impossible, but the CTP of Rage allowed Magneto to cap and get 2 million. The No Criteria Day has been one of the easiest to cap because it allows you to use all of your heroes and all of your villains. So, I mean, the earliest character that was capping was probably, for the majority of players, Cable, aided by, a strong leadership like Cyclops, and then a strong passive support character like Coulson or Shuri or someone like that. More recently, you have White Fox, allowing Luna Snow and Sharon Rogers to push to 5, 6 million, and so on. So this is a very easy day to cap. Not for cap, but still. Universal Hero was also a difficult day, but it was cappable at 2 million by certain players for Thor, but now it's quite easy with Captain Marvel and a CTP of Rage. Combat Hero was Tier 3 Captain America, hitting 2 million quite easily. Blast Male, Cable, again hitting 2 million quite easily. Universal Villain, also a bit more of a difficult day to cap on, so we got about 2 difficult days right now, or 2.5, but also cappable by, I believe, Victorious with a CTP of Rage. And then we have Speed Hero, which was cappable meaning hitting 2 million, by Luna Snow. Without the CTP of Rage, it's not even required. She could just hit it with the new uniform Tier 3 with whatever kind of leadership and setup. And then you have Combat Villain, which is also cappable by Minerva, either with a CTP of Rage or possibly a CTP of Energy. But because of that, and because of those changes, it was possible for 50-60 players to all hit the maximum score. Now, here is where it really gets interesting. If you go and you check the list, you will see that right here it says weekly MVP reward, and it's a huge chunk of crystals. It's 5,500 crystals. Now, the Rank 1 Alliance, every single member of the Rank 1 Alliance will receive, at the end of the week, 500,000 gold. So that is an incentive to play Alliance Battle Extreme competitively, because rather than just being in the top 1% and getting 80,000 gold, you could get, 5 times that much gold, or more than 5 times that much gold. More, 6 times, just over 6 times more gold if you are the rank 1, and you'll also be getting 15 biometrics. Now, the 15 biometrics are not that great, but still, for being the top 3, you get hundreds of thousands of gold versus a smaller amount. And for being the number 1 player in the number 1 alliance, because only 1 player in the game is supposed to get this weekly MVP reward, you would get a crazy chunk of crystals. Now, immediately people are going to say, I don't give a shit, Cynicalex, because these people that are getting number 1 are spending hundreds of dollars, not maybe thousands of dollars on the game, what do they need an extra 5,500 crystals? Maybe, but that's not really the point. The point is to see how Netmarble responds to a problem that they themselves created, because this problem is due to the fact that the CTP of Rage allowed too many characters to hit 2 million. And so with all of those identical scores, the #1 alliance, which I believe was Marineford, which is right here, they had, 10 or 20 players that were all #1. How do you give 5,500 crystals to 10 #1 players? Do you each give them 550 crystals? I don't know. Well, here's what Netmarble had to say. And if you go to the English forums, there's nothing. There's literally no post whatsoever, which I think is something they should rectify, and they should inform the English audience of what they said on the Korean Naver board. Now, if you're not familiar with the Korean Naver board, it's been around as long as the Mobrum boards were, and Korean players in general, not just of Marvel Future Fight, but of other games, they use Naver Cafe the way we use something like Reddit, but it's also even more because Naver is also their hub for search engines, so it's kind of like Reddit plus Google into one. It's like if Google Hangouts and Google Plus had actually been popular like Facebook. Welcome to Naver. So on the Naver boards, they posted this not that long ago. I think it was yesterday. It was on the 8th. Yeah, it was yesterday at about 6 p.m. They sincerely apologized for the confusion that the criteria based on who gets #1 and who gets the 5,500 crystals had not been explained, because this has literally never happened in the history of the game, having two players both #1 and having identical Extreme Alliance battle scores. In the case of Alliance Battle, the efforts and know-how of the agents, and they are upset by the content that can achieve high scores or the issues that have arisen today. So they're basically saying that not me, but the players who hit perfect scores and don't have an answer now for what's going to happen are upset, and that they achieved the high scores and now there's an issue on the day of the reset. And so what they've done is that they're basically going to pay out the full 5,500 crystal compensation to all players based on weekly record highs, which means that every single player in the top alliance that hit #1 would be getting 5,000 or will be getting 5,500 crystals. Additionally, they are going to, it appears that they're going to be addressing in some way or tweaking or doing something so that this doesn't happen in the future. Because I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you were Netmarble, would you really want to give 10, 20, 30, possibly 40 players 5,000 crystals? Because one player, 5,000 crystal, okay, 40 players, that's 200,000 crystals. That's just kind of a little bit too much. And then, as unlikely as it might sound, what happens if the #1 and #2 alliance are both tied? What happens if 80 players all hit the max score? And then it goes on to the top 3, the top 4, the top 5. You can see how this can quickly escalate and become a serious issue. It's not really that serious right now. You have a handful of players in the game who are so good that they're able to do this, but it does put us on a dangerous path to a situation that is pretty crappy for everyone involved and kind of, complicates things too much, and it's obviously something Netmarble doesn't want, because this is supposed to be a coveted reward. It's not supposed to be something that's given out like candy, something that's just super available to, hundreds of players. It's going to lose its prestige for one, but also it's not really something that's feasible for Netmarble to be giving away that many crystals to that many players. It's going to kind of ruin their kind of economy incentive from a business point of view. If they made everything free in the game would shut down within a couple of months because they just couldn't make any money on the game. And prior to the free-to-play players' beliefs, they have to make money to keep functioning and kind of updating the servers and actually routinely maintaining the game. So I am quite curious to see what Netmarble does in regards to this. Some players have speculated, and again, a lot of people messaged me on Discord, online chat, on Twitter, saying, hey Alex, are you going to talk about this? All these guys in Marineford, this maxed out thing is crazy. What all these players getting crystals, what's going to happen? So I felt that it was an interesting enough topic to not only share with you guys, but also to pose the question to you guys. What do you think should happen? Now, a few players have, publicly or privately said that they think the cap, the 2 million cap score should be changed to 3 million or 4 million or 5 million, because that will immediately address some of the problems. Because some of the characters that can hit 2 million, they just barely hit 2 million. I think even for the vast majority of players, Combat Supervillain is not an easy 2 million, and Combat Hero with Captain America or Tier 3 Reed Richards is also not the easiest 2 million. I mean, it's 2 million, but it's just over, like 2.1, 2.2. And so there would be some wiggle room for players to score a little bit higher than each other, and then that would basically completely erase the problem. I personally think that's a lazy and bad solution to the problem. It may seem to be the easiest one, but oftentimes the easiest one, just based on coding, is not the easiest one for the longevity of the game and for the kind of best interest of the entire player base. And so I am considering the newer players, I am considering the intermediate and the semi-competitive players when I do say that 2 million is a nice number to have as the cap, and it gives you an obtainable goal that is possible. If you make the cap so large that you basically can't do it unless you have a hyper-specific build and a hyper-specific character, then it becomes kind of impossible. You move the carrot way too far down the road, and then it basically destroys the hopes and dreams of like the top. Anybody beyond 25 is going to basically be erased because the gap is going to widen so much. It's kind of like you're having a NASCAR race and there's 50 cars and they're all pretty tight, and then suddenly 10 cars just get a nitros boost and they just fly like 10 laps ahead. Those other 40 cars are just gonna slow down and put their cars in park and get out and leave because there's just no point. So I don't think the cap raising situation or that solution is the best solution, but I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think of multiple players getting over 5,000 crystals. Let me know what you think of ABX and how they can change or tweak or alter the game mode. You can be kind of conservative about it, or you can be radical about the changes. Let me know down below in the comments. I'll favorite them, my favorite ones, the best ones. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.